What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Gavin Naden, and today I'm going to film another training vlog. Today we have primary deadlifts. We are less than 2 weeks out from the national championship. Next Saturday, I can't believe it, we step on the platform to try and earn our spot on Team USA again and then go to Worlds. All right, so we are in the thick of it. This is the danger zone, baby. This is what we were made for. We are in the fire. We are being forged, and I'm super stoked. Now, I wasn't going to film today. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I had no intention of filming today. I have a fuck ton of stuff to do today outside of training, but you guys left such positive feedback on the previous training vlog, the 2 weeks out from 2026 Nationals training vlog, that it'd be fucked up for me not to film another one. It'd be really messed up for me to not stay locked in and consistent weekly with at least one training vlog per week. Because again, man, the fact that you guys would take the time out of your day to watch my content and then also to comment, to give me the assurance that it's worth something, that it's valuable to you, that means the world to me, man. And it's one thing for me to say that I'm grateful for it. It's another thing for me to prove that I'm grateful for it. And I hope that me being consistent with these types of training vlogs and me uploading like this is proof, at least a little bit of proof, that I am extremely grateful for you guys, not just joining me for my journey, but supporting me through my journey, man. Seriously, it means the world to me. So because of you guys, we are filming a training vlog today, all right? Like I said, we are less than 2 weeks out from Nationals. We have a primary deadlift session. I do have to do squats beforehand. It's like 3 singles with like 485. It's fucking nothing. It's so annoying. I hate doing it. But to be fair, it does kind of warm me up for pulls, which is nice. And in a comp, I'd have to squat before I pull anyway. So it's kind of good. So we have to do that. And then after we do that, we have to go to the local powerhouse to hit my accessories, which is kind of a pain. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it is what it is, man. I'm grateful that I at least even have that accessibility, you know, that equipment accessible to me. So yeah, so without further ado, let's start warming up. I basically did a speed run with my warm-ups. We are at our 3x1 which should be around 500 pounds. This should be like 501. I believe with the collars, it turns into 496. And then these are 1.25 kilos on each side. So should be about another 5 pounds right there. So should be right where we need to be. We have 3 singles. I usually breeze through these, but I still want to approach every single one of them as if it's a third attempt squat. Technique, breathing, bracing, mindset, all of it. Guys, we are in a sport that is so rare. In our sport, we have the opportunity to practice exactly how we plan to play. Nothing fucking changes on game day. Nothing except for the fact that you're gonna have 3 referees. Maybe you'll have a row of judges on the side. If it's a big meet, like a national championship or a world championship or Sheffield, okay, so what? That's not directly impacting you. Pretend like they don't even exist. And then the only other variables you have to account for are all the stuff that comes with competing. Weight cut, traveling, all that stuff. But bro, like, come on, man, you're an athlete. Like, that's what you sign up for. I'm not saying it's easy, but like, we can't just say like, oh, well, that's the reason. It's like, bro, we're all gonna have these types of circumstances we have to battle through. But control what you can control. When it comes to the training, every single rep should be like a third attempt. Every single rep should be like, this is it. This is for the win. Because it's that level of focus that when you practice that through repetition, you create mastery. So, okay, that's just my 2 cents. We're not gonna rant just yet, all right? We're also a little bit on the time crunch, so we gotta keep it pushing. We'll hit this, and then in between, I'll talk to you about why we do these. Easy. I mean, it should be easy, but yeah. So we have 2 more singles here. The reason why we do these is they're kind of like a primer. These knee sleeves keep rolling down, so I'll just roll them down for now. They're kind of like a primer for our primary. So I have secondary squats on Mondays. Wednesdays is when I have my primary pulls. And for the last, I would say, 2 or 3 meet preps, we've done some light squat singles prior to the deadlifts to kind of keep the technique trained and to keep the pattern trained, I guess, throughout the week going into the primary session on Saturday. I have mixed feelings about this. You know, for one thing, this isn't nearly heavy enough for me to get like real skill practice in. Because the reality is I can make this feel pretty good with shit technique, with good technique. I can bully the bar into really whatever position I want. So yeah, so that is kind of hit or miss. In terms of keeping my squat pattern like greased, throughout the week, like, yeah, I could see that. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, like, because here's the thing, man, like, we can't do so much that we're going to get fatigued during the week, right? That's pointless. And we can't do so little, or I guess I should say, if we do so little, then it's like, why are we even doing it at all? And that's kind of like the catch-22 when it comes to these types of programming choices, like this whole priming effect. For my athletes, something that I used to like to do, which depending on the athlete, I'll still do, is put in a priming single on the secondary. So for example, let's say they are 2 week or 2 blocks out from a meet or something like that. And we're starting to get into heavier touches on the primary, right? We're talking 1 to 3 reps, probably going to be closer to a double or a single. And it's going to be, well over 85%, right? To help speed up the central nervous system adaptation and to help give you practice and skill or practice and confidence, what I'll do is I'll give you a tapered single on the secondary before your real secondary day work. So for example, let's say if you had a single at, 90% or 87.5%, or a double at 85%, let's call it, on your primary day, right? That's like the top set. On your secondary day, before you do your true secondary work, I'm gonna have you do a single at 75%. Or 77.5%. It'll usually trail that primary day by about 7.5 to 12%, usually. Really just depends on the athlete, depends on where we are in that block. Like if you're taking a single at 95%, for you to take a single at 87.5% on the secondary, that's a little redundant. But yeah, and the idea behind that is it's just heavy enough for the skill to actually be somewhat meaningful, but nowhere near heavy enough, and obviously it's nowhere near enough volume in that set for you to be fatigued. So you kind of walk away with like, okay, cool. Like I almost get like, you literally get 100% increase on your touches for the week, because you've now included an additional single throughout that week. But that can be tricky, not every athlete responds really well to that. Not every athlete needs that. So that's how I would program that type of like approach. I don't know if I really buy into having this in the middle of the week. Like I don't really know what this does. But what I will say is that it forces me to warm up properly for deadlifts. Because if I didn't have this, bro, I would like literally within 30 minutes go from the bar to my top set on pulls and probably still be stiff and cold as a board. You know what I mean? So like in that sense, this does help, because if nothing else, I'm forced to take 3 squat singles, and that's annoying. You know what I mean? Like my body's going to get unstiff by the 3rd single for sure. Not to mention all the warming up I have to do prior to doing this. So, and on that note, let's take this next single. Nice. We've got one more. So yeah, I mean, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like these types of decisions you just want to be smart with. But these types of decisions I don't think make or break the success of your training. Most of the time, these types of decisions are more about up here than anything else. If this was 600 pounds, very different. If this was even 550 as opposed to 501, it'd be a little bit different. But yeah, and to me, the other benefit too is like, let's say this does fatigue me a little bit going into my primary single, right? During my taper, this won't be here, right? Like next week, I likely won't be taking this during the week. It probably just won't make sense for me to do that. So I end up, this gives me that extra bit of fatigue, like pit, which could potentially give me the room for extra amounts of like super compensation when I come up out of that, when I take this away next week, Hopefully this is making sense. But yeah, maybe I'm just justifying the programming tool here, but yeah. All right, we're just gonna go right into it. I'm gonna move you guys over here and we'll take the last single. Okay, sick. That was good. That was probably the best one. All right, it's time to warm up for deadlifts. Okay, so now is where we can kind of slow down the pace just a little bit. I take very, very big jumps when it comes to my deadlifts anyway. So we're looking at maybe 2 or 3 warm-ups before my top set. So I slow it down. You know, I don't want to be rushed. I want to attack my sets, but I don't want to be hasty with my sets, okay? And there is a difference. One cues in intentionality and control. The other cues in actually really the opposite. You're reactionary. You're on the defense. It's like, oh, okay, I gotta. Just relax. And in these moments, I like to picture the meet environment. I like to picture myself, squats are done 6 for 6, bench is done 6 for 6. We're in the lead, we're gonna win. Let's slow everything down. We're in control. Everything's around you. People are deadlifting, there's chalk everywhere, there's noise, there's this, that, the lights. Just bring ourselves back home, bring ourselves back here. Take a mental image of what's around you. That's why I like a quiet, serene environment. No distractions and no bullshit, because again, these are the moments that I remember. These are the mental images I take with my eyes so that when the noise is loud, when there are distractions on game day, I can shut it all out and bring myself back here. I'm just here in my basement, just deadlifting, having fun, seeing how far I can push my body. That's what this is about. All right, so we'll take this, we'll throw on another 2 reds on each side, and then we'll keep it moving. That felt good. Come on, bro. That felt pretty good. So we've got 628, 630-ish loaded on the bar. Might be a little, I don't know what it is. It's 285 kg instead of 290. 290 would be 640. This is 285. I'm going 285 just because I think it'll line up for the top set a little bit better. I kind of, this sounds crazy, but I try to make it so that it's about a 100-pound jump between my last warm-up and my top set. I don't know what my top set's gonna be today, to be honest with you. It's gonna kind of be dependent on how this moves. Last week, I took 650. It was a really nice, clean, 2 standard fast single, but it's only 650. But I finished last block with 705. So the goal for this block is, obviously, last block we finished on week 4 with 705. Week 4, this block is the meet. And we have a number, obviously, we need to hit for the end of this block at the meet. But deadlift for me is a little bit different than all the other movements, where it needs to be a long game play. Because if I try to PR in training, if I try to do my heaviest in training, if I try to do any of that, I'm gassed for the meet. It's just not gonna be there. You know, if anything, I'll be able to match it, right? And that's literally how all of my competitions have been. Like, even if it's 2 blocks out, whatever I hit in training is pretty much around what I'm gonna be hitting in the meet. More or less, you know? So I tried a different strategy this time around, where it was like, okay, let's pace ourselves properly for the meet. So that means week 3 today should be at or around something similar to what I hit last block on the week 4. I'm very cautious with going over 716 on the week 3 for this prep, because I just don't see how that's really gonna help me. Again, the difference between 716, let's say, and like taking 727 or 730, 738 or something like that before next week, the number itself, I'm not getting that much more stimulus in terms of like a skill adaptation or like a central nervous system adaptation. Like, it's not going to make that big of a difference. But fatigue-wise, that can make a huge difference. Because if 716 flies, but 738 is a grind, that will fuck me, right? If 716 flies, it's heavy enough, it's a progression off of last block, we're in a good standing. But if 738 is a fucking grind, that's going to bury me so deep in a pit of fatigue that I don't know if I can taper myself out of that in the time that I have, because I still also have a big squat session coming up. So these are the types of things I think about when it comes to my pulls. So today I think I'd be really happy with like a really fast 711, 716-ish. Like, I'd be very happy with that. It's a week 3. And if I were thinking about myself pacing for like a really big week 4, whether or not I was competing in a meet, this is about what I'd want to take. In fact, I'd probably actually be taking closer to like 683 instead to really give myself some breathing room for the following week. The only reason why I won't go that light today is because I do think it's important for me to touch over 7 at least twice within the last, 2 months going into the meet. I think that that would be healthy. That would be important. Just to be able to, make sure grip is on point, everything's on point, because you never know. Maybe you fuck up, maybe you make a mistake, and it's like, okay, shit, thank God I took that set because I know what I did wrong. I won't do that at the meet, It's just all these little things, man, all these little things. Strength is simple, but all the levers you can pull, tools you can use, like it all gets complicated the more and more advanced you get, I feel like, because there's so much that you have experienced that you want to employ, you want to apply. But anyway, yeah, we'll take this in like a minute or two. And yeah. Oh, let me show you guys something real quick. So I like to use ammonia on like my big sets. And I have my brother 3D print me a case for my little ampules, right? Because I take this with me to meets. One, it kind of reminds me of him, which is great. I love it. 2, it's cool. Like it's sick. Instead of me going on Amazon buying like a little fucking overpriced bag and shit, like he 3D printed me this case. It's so sick. So a while back, I bought a bunch of medical grade like ampules from Amazon. Like I literally have like 400 here. And so I just, kind of restock my case. So I was out of them from this past weekend. So now we're going to restock them. But what's cool about this case, dude, is it can fit like fucking a ton of them, dude. Oh, I just dropped one. But like, hold on. Let me show you guys real quick. I don't fill it up to the brim. Obviously, I try not to do that. But if I wanted to, and if I like actually organize them in here, like I could probably fit even more than what I'm about to show you. But like, bro, can you guys see that? Yeah, you guys can see that, right? Look how many are in there, dude. I don't know how many it is. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to 15 in there. And I could easily fit another 3 to 5. Come on, bro. That's sick, right? Easily fit more. So, and I don't take them on every attempt in a meet. I only take like probably like seconds and thirds. Yeah, depending on what the seconds are. So yeah, but anyway, I thought that was cool. So I wanted to show you guys. All right, let's take this. All right, so we've loaded 716 on the bar. Last warm-up flew. It did feel a little heavy in the legs, but it's kind of to be expected. So now we just have to get a little bit more fired up. We're gonna take a full like 8 to 10 minutes break. It is currently 114. I put that bar down around like 112, 111. So we've got a little bit more time to go. And yeah, man, and just get in the zone, dude. Like, don't be afraid to lock in. Don't be afraid to shut everything else out, and remind yourself who you are and why you're here. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that this is gonna move. It may not be super easy, but I think it's gonna move, and it's gonna move to standard, which is exactly what we're looking for. So, yeah, man. So I'm excited. No baby powder, none of that stuff. And historically, when we hit this and we hit this well, this will line us up perfectly for pretty much any deadlift I've ever hit on the platform in the past, because weeks leading up to a meet, this is around the number I've hit. Sometimes I've hit 750 the week before meet. And then sometimes I've hit 705, 738, 716, it really varies. The biggest thing is just making it move well, making it move strong. It doesn't need to move fast. It needs to be strong, clean, full lockout, all that stuff. So yeah, we've got our, Iron Claw gym chalk. This is my own gym chalk. I've shouted this out before. Not at all trying to be salesy or pushy, but this is just what I use. This is what I've been competing with. super dry formula. I really like it. Lab grade, lab made in the US. And we will be restocking Amazon pretty soon. I'm actually going to put that order in again now, probably later today. And then our chalk blocks should be ready by June. We had some supply chain issues in testing the blocks and just like making sure that everything was going to come in properly. And now my manufacturer is also putting together some of the boxes themselves, which is great. So yeah, so those should be ready for June. I know a lot of lifters have been requesting the block chalk. And then the last thing we're going to do before the year's end is going to be liquid. Still kind of testing out those formulas. So, you know, that's TBD. I don't use liquid chalk. So it's hard for me to like get behind just like selling it just because people want it. You know, I don't use it. So it's hard. I don't want to like sell something I don't believe in. So I want to really take my time to test it out. But all right, enough about that. Let's fucking lock in. If you guys ever want to listen along to what I listen to in the gym when I'm listening to music, this is my lifting playlist. I made this, hopefully you guys can see that, on Spotify leading into my very first Sheffield Championship back in 2024. And it's got 30 hours worth of music, 31 hours basically. I'm always updating it, taking shit out, putting new stuff in. And yeah, man, it's hype, dude. We have almost 4K saves, which I don't know what the standard is for a good number of saves on a playlist on Spotify, but I feel like that's not bad. So, all right, let's lock in. Fuck. Well, yeah. Sometimes you just have to laugh, okay? Sometimes you just have to laugh. We're gonna back this down to, I don't know, fucking something. And then we'll get the rest of our volume in, and then we'll go to the gym and we'll leg press, leg extension, and hamstring curl. And then after that, we're gonna do our cardio. And after the cardio, we will talk about what has transpired. I'm gonna do 2 sets of 2, probably, with this. Yeah. Ow. Fucker. Bitch ass motherfucker. Man. One more set. Man, dude. Can't believe I'm tearing up. I just, now we can't sit. I can't tell you how many moments I've had like this in the same space over the last 5 years, 6 years of training. And this is that spiritual warfare. You try to trust and lean on the Lord because it's in these times that you may not understand. And you can't lean on yourself. You have to lean on him. This is God not reminding me, he's not doing this to me. I did this to me, but this is an opportunity for me to go to God and surrender and say, all right, man, like I did my best, man. So carry me through, Whatever happens, happens. I mean, that's the type of surrender that we now have to succumb to, which is, I guess, a beautiful thing. I mean, that's what the Lord asked for. So that's what we will do. But man, it doesn't make it any easier to eat these moments to the face, to take these moments to the face. I mean, it's hard, dude. But I guess it just makes for a better story, you know what I mean? Like, just picture it, bro. Gavin Aiden, 930 kg total, dominates national championship, wins, takes first place despite missing his final pull a week prior, and the pull was only 716 pounds. What kind of fucking story is that? That's a sick fucking story, you know what I mean? So I guess it's a good thing. This is a blessing, brother. Yeah. Yep. This will be the last set, and then we're gonna go to the commercial gym. And we're done, at least in here. Yeah, I'll save the yapping for later. I want to be clear here, though. Every fucking time I've recorded a training vlog and training went like this, something didn't move the way I wanted it to move, or I failed something, or whatever, I'd stop recording, delete it, and I would never post it. This is the first time, I want it fucking known, this is the first time I'm gonna keep recording and we're gonna upload this motherfucker. Because you guys need to see the real shit, the raw shit, all right? I don't give a fuck what everybody else thinks. I don't care what they're gonna say, and I don't care. This is for like the one fucking kid who's now going through the same shit and is down on himself and thinking that he's not enough because his training isn't reflecting his work. This is for you, okay? All right, I'm gonna clean this shit up and then we'll head over to the gym. Oh, God.
straight cooch shot.
Straight cooch shot. So we're back from the gym. It is time to eat. This is what we've got for lunch today. Hopefully you guys can see that. It is blackened salmon and rice. I drizzle a little bit of like an eel sauce on there just to give it a little bit more flavor, a little bit of sweetness, makes it easier to take down. And then I've got a glass of water here as well. After this, we're gonna do our 31 minutes of cardio, and then I'll talk to you guys once cardio is finished, all right? So let me grub on this and we'll keep things rolling. All right, guys, so just finished my cardio, 31 minutes as always. And during today's cardio, instead of reading, I had to practice my script. I have a short film coming up in April. I got really lucky with the film dates. There were 2 major days to film. One was gonna be March 8th, which of course is the day after Nationals, which just wasn't gonna work. There was just no way I was even gonna be able to get back in time. And then the other film date is actually in April. So I feel like the stars aligned for this, man, because it's crazy. It's crazy to think about, because not only does that mean that I have more time, or sorry, a better time for me to film, like I can actually make the filming, but it also means I have more time to prepare without the stress of Nationals. And not that it's really that stressful to prepare for both. They both tax me in a different way. But yeah, it just, I thank God that this kind of worked out the way it did. But yeah, so I have a short film coming up, and I don't want to give away too much because I'll probably upload it to YouTube and post it on my channels once my scene is edited and done. But I'm really excited for this, man, because this is, I've gotten in front of casting directors before, but this particular short film, A, will be on IMDb, so it's an official film, which is great for my resume. B, it's great for my reel, you know, when kind of auditioning for stuff and applying for stuff. But C, it's actually going to be reviewed by, I believe it's 3 casting directors or 3 agents, I forget. And so there's an opportunity here that if I knock it out of the park and they need somebody with my brand, I can land an agent through this. And so, you know, I'm approaching this no different than I would Nationals, no different than my training. Like, it's just every stone unturned, you know? Like, you just, or sorry, we have to make sure no stone is left unturned. Like, we really have to go all in on this because this could be a life-changing opportunity. I approach every single opportunity now as a life-changing opportunity. I give it 110%. If I say yes to it, if I commit to it, then I'm all in on it. I'm not half-assing it at all. And that's why I've kind of stepped a little bit away from the public speaking stuff, because although I like public speaking, it's a little bit different. It is a lot of work for sure, but what I found is a lot of people in the public speaking space, they're speakers, they're not really doers. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Just what I found is most people in the speaking space categorize themselves as motivational speakers, and that's fine, but I'm more motivated by an elite athlete speaking to me than a motivational speaker speaking to me. And there are differences. Like, there is a talent and a skill to speaking publicly, to being an orator, you know what I mean? And some people don't have that, but I'm gonna be honest with you, man, when the story is real and it hits, when you can see yourself in it, when you can resonate with it, you don't give a fuck how they talk. One of my favorite creators right now on TikTok, his name is Jackson. He has cerebral palsy, and he lifts weights, he's pushing himself, he's independent. I fucking love his content, man. Check him out. It's like, you know what? The fuck am I playing around with? Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up right now. Let's find it. Bear with me, because he's a phenomenal creator, and I'm so proud of him because he's putting himself out there. He really struggles with speaking because of his disability, and yet he does it. This is his page, guys. This is his page. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's Jackson O'Leary. All right, so find him on TikTok. Dude's an absolute stud, man. I like every single video, and I just think he's awesome. I think he's phenomenal. I love his mindset. I love his attitude, and especially on days like this, when I have moments like these, this is a reminder of like, who the fuck am I to bitch and moan about failing a deadlift? Who cares what the circumstances are? I mean, this dude is fighting that battle and worse every single day he wakes up. And I'm not trying to catastrophize his situation, but it really is inspiring, and I just love it. I love those stories, and yeah, man, he's one of my favorite creators. So anyway, what I was trying to say was, he can't speak well. He will never be able to compete with a Tony Robbins when it comes to speaking clearly and being as articulate and all of that stuff. It's physically not possible, but he can speak better than Tony because his stories can be stronger. His connection can be realer. So he can still be better than the best speakers in the world because of his story, because of who he is, because of his attitude, because of his authenticity. Okay, so maybe his speech is a little slurred. So maybe it's hard for him to articulate his words properly and pronounce everything properly. But he can make up for it in all these other areas, and he does. And when it came to public speaking, I had to make a choice. It was like either I can continue to pursue the things that can make me worth listening to, or I can pursue the thing that makes me sound really good. Putting together good speeches. And there is an art to that. There is a skill to that, absolutely. Practicing them, memorizing them, making sure you can speak to your target audience. And there's a lot that goes into it. But I just felt for myself like it's going to take a ridiculous amount of effort to be successful in all of the things I'm pursuing. Which one do I think will have the highest yield? And I just feel if I become phenomenally successful as an athlete, as an entrepreneur, as an actor, booking 6-figure, 7-figure speaking gigs won't be a problem. But if I become a phenomenal speaker, that won't necessarily help all the other arenas. So I just, it's not that I'm not doing it anymore. I mean, I'm public speaking right now, hypothetically speaking. But it's just that it's not my number one focus. Right now, acting, my online coaching business, my chalk company, my businesses, and my training are my number one focuses. So anyway, my point is focus and clarity. I'm all in on this. And so I've decided to sacrifice some other opportunities as a result. But yeah, man, so it takes me a while to memorize stuff. I'm still kind of working on things. Actually, Thomas Louis recommended a book to me about, by James Quick, I think his name is, something like that. That it's supposed to help you come up with ways to increase your ability to memorize, to articulate, all that stuff. So I haven't started that book yet. Time right now is better spent just quite literally working on this. But yeah, so I'm really excited about this, man. I'm really excited. In fact, funny enough, the character I am playing is a boxer. That's all I'm going to say. He's a boxer, and it's a therapy session scene. So I'm actually really excited about this. I think this is going to showcase a lot of my brand, a lot of my ability, and I am unique in that I have a very tough-looking exterior, but I can be very soft-spoken, very gentle, and very sensitive. And so my mom likes to call me an M&M, hard shell on the outside, soft and sweet on the inside, for better or for worse. So, so what's cool is that this will hopefully showcase that. So anyway, enough about that. I'm going to do my best to talk about training, talk about my mindset, talk about where I'm at with everything. I'm exhausted right now, and yeah, so sometimes it's hard for me to on the spot kind of improv my way through these types of yap sessions, but we're going to do our best. All right. So, okay. So today's training. So let's start with why I think what happened. So I think half of it is physical, half of it is mental. From the outside looking in, yes, I am under a ton of fatigue. Also, yes, there were some changes that I've made to my training that are unprecedented. In other words, squatting in flats, squatting as heavy as I have been in flats. Some of the squat sessions I've had programming-wise, all of those things are new and different, and I've never done them in a prep before, and at least not to this degree. And so technically, there was no way of seeing how that would affect me. And so this could be a byproduct of that, again, just from the logical side of things. Outside looking in, that could be something. I don't think that that's it, and I'm going to explain why in a second, but that could be something. Another thing, of course, we just have a general, high level of fatigue right now. We're 2 weeks out from nationals. We've been lifting the heaviest we've ever lifted, hypothetically speaking, and we are, it's high stress, not just with training, but everything outside of training. So there's a lot of fatigue here, central nervous system especially, but just local peripheral fatigue as well. So long story short, yeah, there's a lot of fatigue that definitely could be contributing to it. Now, on the mental side, I definitely do think that there's a lack of confidence in the deadlift because deadlifts haven't been going well for a very long time. Ever since sumo, kind of I redlined my sumo a little bit due to some poor programming, or I shouldn't say poor programming. It was a lot of factors that came into play, but it was obvious that looking back, we were just doing too much too often, and unfortunately, that just really kind of tanked everything, and so I redlined my sumo quite a bit, and ever since then it was really hard to get my deadlift back. And yeah, you want me to be fully transparent. 2 blocks ago, I failed 705, 716 on deadlift on my week 4. Last block, I finally had my first successful 700-pound deadlift at the end of the block. I hit 705 last block. And, and here we are now with the 716 that, we didn't finish. So, yeah, I mean, needless to say, deadlifts haven't been going particularly well all training year, really, except for like one little blip. And so there is a lack of confidence there. Now, that lack of confidence isn't really an issue in the sense of like, oh my God, like, like I might fail this, whatever. It's not really that. It's just that there's a lack of confidence in the execution, which causes hesitation. And when there's hesitation at that weight, especially when it's going to be a difficult set, a difficult rep, any amount of hesitation is going to inhibit your ability to execute adequately. And that is the truth across the board. We see it in every lift. We see it all the time. That's why, like, if you ever watch somebody's lifts, I see this all the time with my lifters especially, but if you ever watch somebody's lift and you'll notice, like, the first rep is slow, a little grindy, a little shitty, but then each rep after that is like perfect. It's faster, it looks easier, and it's smoother. Their start position is better. It's just because they got like the first rep, nerves out of their system, their body realized like, oh, I can do this. This isn't too bad. And so then it's good. It's in a comfortable groove. Same thing happens with squats. Bench is half and half. I haven't seen as much with bench. But my point is like that happens a lot in training. And the problem is that, in a powerlifting competition, that first rep is the only rep. So that first rep is the most important rep. So you have to achieve that level of comfortability and confidence that you have in your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth reps with your first rep. And that's it. So from the mental side, I think that was the thing. Now, that's why I think, what happened. I think it was a combination of just fatigue and the confidence issue there. I will be completely honest with you. Walking up to the bar both last week and this week, I just feel shot, dude. Like I'm just tired. And I can just tell, like this sounds really weird to describe it this way, but when the metal feels like metal, like when the bar feels like the bar, and I just look at the weights and I can feel the weight of it in my mind, I know I'm beat. I know I'm tired. And that's how it's been feeling. Now, I think I've been managing my variables well enough to make certain weights move really well in spite of that, which is a great sign. But unfortunately, when rubber meets the road with these top end weights, there's only so much you can do. And so I think that's really what happened is the fatigue thing. Now, I also do think it's positional. I think that there were some position/technique changes I could have made to my deadlift today that probably would have had me had a slightly higher chance of success. I'm not going to say it would have led to me having an RPE 8 single day, with 716, but I do think it would have helped. And that position change would be better slack pull and a smoother start, which is a way that I used to conventional deadlift. And I stopped because of that hesitancy issue I was experiencing with conventional when I switched back. Having an extremely explosive start, it kind of eradicates. It's like a cheap way of shortcutting the hesitancy because you don't have time. The problem is when the weight's really fucking heavy and you're really tired, that weight won't fly off the floor. So then you're going to be met with that immediate like body doubt, so to speak, and that will then inhibit your ability to kind of grind through. Whereas a slower execution, you're expecting it to be hard, you're expecting it to be slow, but your strength lies in your ability to just keep going. So it doesn't need to be fast. It just needs to keep making progress. It just needs to keep going, And so that is a positional change I could have made, absolutely. But you could tell even during my setup, man, like I was doing a lot of fidgeting and stuff, and that's usually a sign that I wasn't as confident in this setup, right? That's a surefire sign of that. So I do think confidence played a big role into it with positional sync. And the last thing I'll say about the deadlift stuff, to kind of justify why I think that we will be totally fine going into next week, aside from the mental side, which I'll talk about, of course. My squat strength right now, knock on wood, my squat strength right now is extraordinarily high. My ability to execute my squats right now, extraordinarily high. My leg press strength today, you saw that. That was the heaviest I've ever gone on that machine. And I'm not gonna say it was easy, but like it wasn't like that hard, you know what I mean? And by the way, when I leg press, especially when I'm in meet prep, I leg press purposefully with my feet as far down on that platform as I can with them relatively straight. Why? Because that mimics the start position of my pull. And so I like to overload that pattern. So I do lose a little bit of range, but it's okay because the range isn't the goal, right? So So yeah, so that's why I had that position there. But yeah, we went super fucking heavy on that, and it went really well. My hamstring curls maxed out the stack, and that was easy. The leg extensions, heaviest I've gone on leg extensions in a while on that machine, pretty easy. My point is, we have a ton of signs showing that the leg strength is there. It's just whatever else is involved in getting that fucking deadlift up off the floor, that's not there. And so it's a good sign in a way, like if I'm looking at it objectively, it's a good sign to see that all the other lower body movements are ready, are prepared, are primed, are strong, if not the strongest that they've ever been, to be honest with you. Like I genuinely feel like my legs are the strongest they've been in terms of like squat strength and like the accessory work and stuff. So that's a great sign because that means that the potential is there. It's just how do we express that on meet day? That's really what it's going to come down to, is what are we going to do to express that? So that's my case for the fact that I think we're going to be fine come meet day. Yeah, 100%. Also too, I mean, you saw the way little less than, oh no, it was about, yeah, a little less than 100 pounds. You saw the way, like, what was it, 70, 80 pounds less, how that moved. Like, it felt heavy in my hands. It did. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. It did feel heavy, but it moved really fast. I promise you, like, I don't think it would have moved as fast if the strength wasn't there. I do think it's a lot to do with fatigue, central nervous system fatigue, just being super tired, super beat up, lots of stress and shit, and then also just some positional stuff. So that's that, okay? That's the explanation for everything. And I encourage you to take note of kind of how I mentally run through these things, because that's how I want you to approach it as well. I want you to start troubleshooting as if you were somebody you cared about, not as if you were yourself. Because when you are yourself, your feelings and your emotions get in the way of seeing things clearly. Your job is to go in with an objective magnifying glass. Like, it's just purely like, okay, what went well? What didn't go well? Why did this happen? What can I look at? What can I point to? And then let's use this data to make better, more informed decisions moving forward. And that's it, man. That's how I am with my clients. That's how I am with myself. So it's harder in the moment, 100%. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm still very upset about it. But as you can see, I've kind of mellowed out. Yeah, so you want to be as objective as possible. And in powerlifting, it's a very lonely sport. And I'm going to be honest with you, man, like, yes, even if you have a coach, like, a lot of it falls on you. A lot of it does. I hate to say it. I'm just going to be real. So much of it falls on you. There's only so much your coaches can do, especially because, you know, they're not here, they're not in person, they're not seeing it, they're not with you. You know, they type numbers and exercises into an app or a spreadsheet, and they'll communicate with you, sure, but that's it. Like, that's what it is, you know what I mean? Like, that's the meat of powerlifting coaching. You know, I personally add in a little bit more flavor. I look at mindset, I look at the recovery stuff 100%, but like, at the end of the day, bro, like, that's what it is. So all of the other stuff you have to make up for, you know? And so it's a challenge. It can be a challenge, but you just got to be as objective as you can be. And then also trust your gut. You have to trust your gut. Like, okay, what happened there? Like, how do I feel? Like, I literally walked in today, and I remember last deadlift session as well, just not feeling full, not feeling strong, not feeling like I could take anything up off the floor. Like if it weighs a pound, it feels like a pound and a half. Like, that's how I walked in feeling. And so just knowing that, it's like, okay, what would lead me to feel like that? And how do I not feel like that in a week and a half, you know? So that's that, all right? What do I think about nationals and, you know, what's coming? First and foremost, I'm still 100% confident I'm going to win. Make no mistake about it. I'm gonna show up with every intention of pulling whatever needs to be pulled in order to become Team USA's national champion and then go on to Worlds and become the 93 kg world champion. I have every intention of doing that. Like, guys, look me in the fucking eyes. We never quit. We don't give up. Ever. Ever. Because what is the alternative? If I quit now, what is the alternative? Losing. So no matter what, if I quit, I lose. But if I keep fucking going, I could win. You may think it's corny. You may think it's cringy. But I promise you, when you attempt to do something so fucking great, this is what the process looks like. These moments are gonna happen. When you attempt to do something so fucking great that it's more than anybody in your entire bloodline has ever attempted to do before, I promise you these moments will come, and who you are will be reflected in your decisions when these moments happen. When I competed at South Africa Open Worlds, I got stapled on my second deadlift. It was like 705. We put on 727, so we went up despite failing it, so we could at least try and place third. And I willed that fucker up. We got 727. Went out on my shield, so to speak. Still lost, so it doesn't really mean anything. I went to the back, and Ryan Lapidat from King of the Lifts came up to me, and I told this story before, and he said, "I'm proud of you." I said, "Proud of what?" He said, "Circumstances don't make the man, they reveal him to himself." We all have a choice. I may not get to choose my circumstances. I don't blame anyone else but myself for being here. Not my coach, not my nutritionist, not my girlfriend, myself. It's myself. They may have told me, all right, do 3 sets of 1 at this, but I'm the one who did it. Somebody puts a gun in your hand and says, okay, go shoot. If you're the one who pulls the trigger, whose fault is it really? So I don't blame anyone else for this. So I'm gonna be fucking damn sure I learned from this. And maybe I do have to make some hard decisions after this. Maybe I do have to really take a step back and say, okay, whatever I did before wasn't working, so what do I gotta do now? 100%. That's like everything in life. But when you are pursuing greatness, you're going to fail over and over and over again. That's what defines the success. Oh, and by the way, who wants to read a story about a knight who never slayed a dragon? The only reason people's testimonies, their story about how they came to Christ, are worth anything is because they went from nothing to Him. It's because they went through all of this shit, insurmountable odds, and through it all, found Him. That's why it's worth something. Because there's a journey. What's special about somebody who won a championship and never had to fight for it, never had to train for it, never had to fail for it? That's not life. That's not real. That's not what I resonate with. Maybe you do. Not me. Do you know what created Tyson, the monster in the ring? Like what really created him? Some of the deepest, darkest shit imaginable. That's the childhood that he had, the life that he had. That's what bred that. So it's cool to see it, to see the outcome, the result. But people underestimate just how much shit has to be on the other side. Because guess what? That's nature. That's life. Darkness is nothing but the absence of light. You cannot even come to know pleasure without knowing pain, let alone appreciate it without knowing pain. You can't. Your muscle, in order for your muscle to grow, it has to be torn apart. Do you understand that in order for my muscles to get stronger and to get bigger, I literally have to induce so much stress on my body that my body says, we will die if we do not get bigger or stronger. That's how sick that is. Like that is life. So we fucking embrace it. We embrace it. Okay, so 716 didn't go well. Okay. I'm gonna fucking quit? I'm gonna give up? This just makes me more mad. This just makes me more motivated. Does it hurt my heart? Does it hurt my soul to know that I could give everything? I could do everything fucking right and still lose and still fail? That everyone else would still look at me and say, oh yeah, Gavin, I guess he's... Of course it hurts. I'm human. But I know what it's like to be on the other side. I know what it's like to give up. I know what it's like to quit. I know what it feels like. can't quit, man. You just can't quit. You can't. You have to show up 110%. And there are times when you need to take a step back. There are times when you need to heal, and that's a smart decision. But only when it's in service of the greater goal. It's definitely hard to be in this position. But number one, there are far worse circumstances to have, especially outside of training, but even in training. I mean, I could have gotten seriously injured. Then I definitely wouldn't have been able to show up at Nationals and be my best. That's just one simple, easy example. That's minuscule compared to some of the real examples, like fighting on the front lines for your freedom for a country that doesn't even give a fuck about you. Getting shot 6 times. Early death at 21. Single mom trying to feed 6 kids in the slums. Scared to fucking go to work, let alone walk at home at night. Like, these are the real circumstances of life, right? So Gavin couldn't lift 716 pounds off the floor 1 week out from Nationals. Wow. Oh my God, let's all cry about it. So I'm not trying to diminish and invalidate my experience, but I am trying to put it into perspective. And so with that perspective comes some grace. You give yourself some grace. You say, you know what, man, it's all good. We will find a way. And here's my other thing to it. This is just my 2 cents. What am I gonna do about it anyway? It happened, it's done. So you move on. In fact, it's better to move forward believing that you hit it. I'm just gonna go into next week going like, man, dude, I had a phenomenal 716 pound single last week. That shit flew. Like, that's the level of delusion I have. And that's what I'm gonna think, that's what I'm gonna believe. I truly believe what helped my bench go well over 500 this year was just the literal mindset change of, I'm not a 484 pound bencher, I am a 550 pound bencher. I like literally the block. When I made that decision, 4 weeks later, guys, it was like 4 or 8, it was either 1 block or 2. I benched 513 pounds in the gym, fine. 513 pounds. Guys, I haven't hit a bench PR like that since 2021. Did I make some changes to my training? Yes, it's not all just foo-foo bullshit, 100%, it's not all just mindset. But that is 90% of it, because the body will follow the mind. And we see this time and time and time again in every sport, in every industry. That one fucker who just had the audacity to believe in himself so much, to dare so greatly, somehow he did it. How the fuck did he do it? I strive to be that individual. And I want to control the things I can control. My self-belief is one of them. And like I said, what is the alternative? Like there's nothing else I can do about it now, you know what I mean? Like it's done, dude, it's done. I can be analytical and observant, 100%. But from a big picture perspective, it's like, where do we go from here? Like, there's no point in wallowing it and pitying myself and being upset about it when it's like, nothing can be done. We're moving forward. I may not know the way. I may not be able to see the way in front of me. But it starts with this step. I'm just gonna keep taking a step. And I don't want to come across as this is easy for me and you should look up to me and I'm trying to be inspired. That's not it at all, man. Like, this hurts me. Like, I tear up. I feel it, man. It hurts my heart. It hurts my soul. And I have my doubts. I 100% do. I 100% question whether or not I'm good enough, whether or not it's worth it. I question whether or not he's there. I question all of it. And I know my imperfection. I know my sin. I know my flaws. I know how useless I am, how worthless I am. I know it. And that's why I pour so much into this, because this is my way of proving to myself I belong here, that I'm worthy of having 2 feet on this planet. I feel all of those things, man. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, until death keep going. There's no alternative. So, yeah, I feel all these things. I feel beaten. I feel broken. And believe me, not just from training, from everything. I feel beaten. But until I am dead, I don't have any other choice but to keep going. And, I think part of it is giving it up to Him, leaning on Him, and trusting in Him. Take Him at His word. He loves you. He has great promises for you, great plans for you. So take Him at His word, People who have had far worse, far harder lives than I've had, and have reached higher levels of success than I have. First person that comes to mind is DMX. If they profess the love and the strength of Christ, then who am I to question it? One of my favorite quotes is from DMX. He said it on a radio show. He said, God won't walk you to what He won't walk you through. And I believe that. But we all have to make choices. We all have to make decisions. Not just about whether or not we show up, but how we show up, who we show up as. You just always have to keep going. You have to. Because it's not about you. It's really not. I mean, in a way it is. You're proving something to yourself, and you have a dream, you have a goal, so you just keep fucking going no matter what comes your way. But there will be times when it gets so difficult to keep going that the only thing that will keep you going is a deeper sense of why, a deeper sense of obligation that simply can have nothing to do with you. It's the only way. It's a long mindset rant, but hopefully you guys find value in this stuff, man. I hope so, because this is about as vulnerable as I can get, kind of, like, at least in the training context, like me talking about this stuff, me showing you this stuff. I don't know any other athlete that would show their competitors or anybody else that they failed a 716-pound single 1 week out for nationals. But I don't know, man. I guess my balls are just bigger. I guess I just don't give a fuck. I don't know. Look, man, this is a mano-a-mano sport. Like, this is you versus you. I know mano-a-mano doesn't mean you versus you, but you get what I'm saying. It's one-on-one. This is you versus you, man. There's nothing that they can do to help me or hurt me, and there's nothing I can do to help them or hurt them. We will show up. We will execute, and the strongest or the best will win, and it's that simple. This isn't a war necessarily. This isn't wrestling, right? It's not me versus somebody else and trying to exploit their weaknesses or anything like that. This is powerlifting, squat, bench, and deadlift. And, the hardest part about the sport is that you can't simply be better than your opponent. In a lot of ways, you just have to be better than yourself. And that's harder. It is a lot harder. Because the truth is, in wrestling, I can get lucky a little bit, or maybe my opponent is injured, or he's feeling a type of way, or whatever, and I can leverage that. Maybe he does have strengths that topple my weaknesses, but I have strengths that topple his. The problem in powerlifting is that even if your opponent is injured, if you don't execute, if you don't lift to standard, you lose. So even if your opponent didn't show up, you could still lose. Why? Because it's on you. And I think that that's one of the things that makes the sport beautiful, because it is you versus you. you know? But anyway, yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to talk about. I mean, I am still extremely eager to step on that platform. I guess this would be good, and then we can close it out. My plans for what I'm gonna do to make sure that we are in shape for nationals. Excuse me. So, first things first, I don't think it's smart to even attempt anything heavy on deadlifts for the next week and a half, until nationals. I just don't see the point of it, If nothing else, it's just gonna feed my confidence. But that's retarded. I mean, like I've deadlifted 771 before. I don't need the confidence booster. Okay, it's not about that. So I'm just probably gonna chill the fuck out. I might not even take deadlifts at all for the next week and a half, to be honest with you, and just kind of hope that helps. That said, I haven't fully decided. What I will probably do though, for sure, is I have my top pause triple this weekend. I'll probably take that sumo, just in case I need to go sumo on meet day, in case conventional just doesn't work. And then I'll do my back downs conventional, but everything will still be pretty light. Obviously, the week is not done, guys. The week is not done. We still have to show up for squat. And so that's what I intend to do. So we're gonna rest up, or we're gonna recover hard. And we have a big squat session this weekend, so that's coming up. And then it's just a matter of traveling and being ready for the meet. And I am not going to be lifting anything remotely heavy next week at all. I am going to let my body just chill, just be ready, okay? And so, especially with the travel and a little bit of the weight cut, like my weight's pretty on point, but we still have a little bit of a cut to do. So with all of those things considered, I'm probably just going to focus on that, let my training just chill out. And I'll probably have, like, on Monday, I'll do like my secondary squat day. It'll probably be like week 1 numbers or even less on squat. And then bench is a little finicky because, like, my primary bench was Monday, and we had a really good session that day. The problem is that the meet is on a Saturday, so my primary sessions have been Mondays, but the meet's on Saturday. So I got to do some rearranging to make sure that I don't detrain, but I also am not completely shot come meet day for bench work. So that'll be a little bit of a challenge, but I'm pretty sure we'll be able to figure that out between John and I and my coach. And yeah, and like I said, deadlifts is pretty self-explanatory. It's just gonna pull back a fuck ton. I mean, I don't really see any other answer here, because deadlifting anything heavy is just gonna, I don't even know what that would do from a positive perspective. I think it's just gonna fucking ruin me. So I'd rather just chill out. If I wanna do some volume, I can do some volume, but like, just gotta chill out, take a real break on that. And pray, and pray. But yeah, so that's the plan. I fly out Tuesday of next week. I will try to film another training vlog before then. I don't know if I'm gonna film this Saturday. I might not, or at least a training vlog wise, I might not film this Saturday. And then we fly out next Tuesday, and I'll be in Lake Tahoe until the following Tuesday. So yeah, man, it's exciting. I was able to secure a direct flight to Reno, which is, unfortunately, it's an airport that's really far away, really annoying to get to, but the difference is it won't take me 8 to 9 hours to fly into Reno. It'll take me 6.5-ish. And I prefer that because direct flight is nice. Plus, I got exit row, which is nice. More expensive, of course, but I'll have some room and some space. And then it's an hour-ish drive from Reno to the venue. So in total, we're probably looking at like a solid 8 to 9 hours of traveling between getting to and from airports, all that shit. So that's a big day of traveling, you know what I mean? Plus I'll probably have to train super early Tuesday morning if I have a training session on Tuesday. I think I might not. I think I might just have John give me training session Monday, training session Wednesday, and then maybe some more bench work on Thursday, and just cut it there. That's probably what I'll do. So, yeah, man, I am very excited to compete. I am fully in, this is the thing, man. And my mom gets upset with me / criticizes me for this. She says I'm a very black and white thinker. I'm a very all or nothing thinker. And I get what you're saying, but I don't know how you could try to pursue anything worth remembering without having an all-in or not at all mindset. Like it doesn't occur to me. I don't know how you can do it. How do you half-ass greatness? Every single person I know from afar or close who is successful or has accomplished anything great has had to become obsessed with it, dedicated their whole lives to it. Like, I don't know any other way. I mean, like, so look, I say all that to say, when it comes to nationals, I told you, I flipped that switch 8 weeks out. I've burned the boats. It's done. We are all in. Even if it rips me apart, like, we have to go all in. We have to show up and try. Fucking load it. Because why else are we there? Some people think it's wild. Some people think, you know, I make very risky and crazy decisions. I get that. But I am going to load whatever it takes to win. It is that simple. That is what is going to be put on the bar. And so, like I said, whether or not there was competition there are numbers that I've selected that I will load on that bar, for better or for worse. It's just what it is. I will be loading that on the bar. So, with that said, I am extremely excited to compete, to have another opportunity to earn my place on Team USA. It's time. It's time. My competitors are strong. They are hungry. They want it. Absolutely. I'm starving. Starving. I can't tell you how many moments I've had just like this. I'm doing everything I can, and it's still not enough. And every time I keep going. Every time I find a way, or I make one. I feel like there's not that many updates, so we'll cut it here. Appreciate you guys tuning in, man, and thank you to everyone who has been believing in me, who supports me, and who wants to see me succeed. It really does mean the world to me, and I hope you know that it's mutual. I promise you, I do not think or see myself as better than anybody. We all just lift weights, man. We all bleed, we all shit, we all cry, we all fail. And so, you know, please don't ever like put me on a pedestal or anything like that. Like you and me are one and the same. I feel like the only difference is I've been just doing this a little bit longer, most likely, or taking it a little bit more seriously, right? And so, yeah, so we're all in this together, and so it really means a lot to me. I kind of look at you guys as like a team, not as like supporters in a way, you know. It's just like we're all just like one big group, you know. And it's not about like my journey; it's our journey, striving for greatness. Like we're all on the same fucking mission. We're all on the same. If you are watching this content, then you absolutely are the type of person who wants to be fucking great, because otherwise none of this would resonate with you. So we're all on the same mission, dude. We are all on the same path. We're walking this together. So. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will catch you in the next training vlog. Peace.